purpose powerful enough will make you unstoppable.
We are standing in front of one of our 22-unit apartment buildings. This one's fun. This particular property, we were able to do it with 4 different loans, so none of our own money. We bought it at $1.6 million, and the value of this property today is $3.2 million.
We took over this building 5 years ago, and it was literally a hole. It was dirty and dumpy and messy, and now we've got flower beds. We're getting new windows today. New windows are being installed in most of the renoed units. Back here, we've made a picnic area, and now we've got a little, this used to be a garbage shed. Now we've got a nice little patio area.
And so we were able to create over $1 million in value in a very short amount of time without any money out of our own pockets. Ah! I love the pictures, like What's going on, my good friends? We are live, and we are here on the Canadian Real Estate channel, and I want to be really, I want to answer all your questions, because we posted some videos, and a lot of great questions, and I'm not afraid of any questions. I'm Alfonso Cuadra, the Godfather of Real Estate. They call me the Godfather because I've been in this game for a long time. Not only have I been in business for 27 plus years, I've been in real estate for 23 plus years, own real estate all across North America, and I've been training, teaching, educating, facilitating, mentoring people all across North America on this very subject, real estate. And a long time ago, someone said, hey, you've been around so long. All of these people that have even started their own programs now and have done really great things have come through you. You're like the Godfather of real estate. And so that's how I got the nickname. And I kind of leaned into it a little bit, but I want to get the opportunity to answer your questions. I have all your questions right here. You know what? I love it. Just keep it coming. Whenever you see one of my videos, just drop those questions. And if I don't have enough time to address the questions, what we're going to do is I'm going to go on these lives to answer your questions, directly. Right? So we're going to start at the very beginning. Epictetus. And by the way, I'm going to probably massacre some of these names. Hold on a second. Peter's pulling them up here, but yeah, would love to see. We'd love to see of the videos with the breakdowns of the numbers. Okay, well, here it is. We want to do the breakdowns of the numbers. I already took some pictures of some of the numbers from before that I can share with you. So we bought the property for $1.63 million. Okay, 22 units 5 years ago. We have a gross scheduled income of $223,000 and change. We did allocate for a vacancy budget of $8,900. That gives us a gross operating income of $214,000 and change. We obviously we're going to subtract our expenses. At that time, as we were buying that property, the expenses were $116,000 and change. So giving us a net operating income of about $97,000. So almost $98,000. Okay. So let's look at the debt service, because I think that was one of the questions, if I don't recall, and we can answer that right away, because part of the video was this idea that we were able to put 4 separate loans on the property. And the way that worked out was that we got a first mortgage insured by CMHC at 1.291 million, which is close to 2 million, 1.3 million, let's just say, just to round it up, at a rate of 3.660%. Okay, now keep in mind this was 5 years ago, and so the payment, the debt service for the year was 70,764. Now we did get a vendor take back, so we also got the seller to assist us with some of the financing here, and the seller gave us $150,000 on a vendor take back, seller financing. So it was registered as a second mortgage on the property, and so because we have a first mortgage with insured by CMHC. CMHC is going to want us to make sure that we still meet the debt coverage ratio on this property, right? So you can put as much financing as you want as long as you meet the debt coverage ratio, which is the DCR. Okay, so in this case, because the payment would no longer, if there was a payment on this vendor take back, it would not meet the DCR required. And so what we did with the seller is, listen, we're going to do a deferred payment. So we're not going to pay you the interest today. So the interest was 5% on 150,000, 5-year term. And what we're going to do is pay it on the back end. We're going to defer that payment for 5 years, and we'll pay you the principal, which is the 150,000, plus the interest in a balloon payment. Also, because this was a private sale, and again, a lot of the teachings that I do, I train people on how to negotiate these deals off market. Not saying that if they were on the MLS that you couldn't negotiate these deals, but you actually have more leverage, you have more time, you have more direct contact with the seller if you try to go off market. And so a lot of that stuff you can find on my channel, but we actually negotiated the deal because we understood the seller's needs. And in this case, the seller's need was to dispose of this property, and they wanted to do it quickly because they were in a position where they needed to buy another property. And so we were right there where we could actually be in a position where we can buy this property, and we were able to negotiate many things. Number one, we negotiated a vendor take back with a deferred payment. Perfect. So 0 payment on that. There's no debt service on that particular loan. The third loan was actually from the seller. We said we need an extra $80,000 to get this deal done. So the seller actually lent us $80,000 registered on another property that we had. So we had a triplex in another city that the seller actually took a second position on that to give us the $80,000. Now the question is, why would the seller do this? Well, obviously the seller was highly motivated to sell this property. Number two, they wanted to get the price that they were looking for. And so we got a first mortgage from the bank. That's no problem. Insured by CMHC. The seller also gives us a vendor take back of $150,000. The second of $80,000 came from another property. Now you would say, well, wouldn't he lend you $150,000 plus the $80,000? Why not just put that all in one vendor take back mortgage? Well, the problem was that the first lender also needs to approve this mortgage. Okay, so you can't just add a bunch of debt on the property and it doesn't meet the DCR, the debt coverage ratio. And so in this case, we had to borrow it from another property. So we got $80,000, and then I got a second on a different property of $180,000. So the second of $80,000 at 7%, 5592 was the debt service. We got another second of $180,000 on a different property from someone's self-directed registered account of $16,200 was the payment. The rate is 9%. And then we borrowed the difference from a line of credit. So, like I said, 4 different loans on this property. The first one, almost 1.3 payment, debt service for the year, $70K and change. A vendor take back of $150,000, 0 payment, 5% interest, deferred payment, balloon payment at the end of the 5 years. A third mortgage of $80,000 from the seller on a different property. So we collateralized other properties in order to make this deal happen. So 7% payment for that property, for that loan, $5,592. Then our fourth loan was $180,000 with a payment of $16,000 and change a year at a rate of 9%. And of course, the difference we got from a line of credit. Total debt service, $92,556. And so when we go back to our property, as we are taking over this property, we get, we have a net operating income of $97,000, as I was telling you, well, close to $98,000. Our debt service is $92,500. And so that gives us a cash flow of $48,14. So the first 2 years was simply stabilizing and optimizing this property. And what we've done in the past, the last two, over the past 2 years over COVID, the time of COVID, is we've been able to improve and turn over some of these units. And because cap rates have come down, the mixture of cap rates coming down and the performance of the property, that gives us a brand new evaluation of $3.2 million. And so for those of you that wanted to see the numbers or know about the numbers, there they are. Okay, so that was the first question. Then I'm going to go to Lucas Febrero. Doesn't really dive into specifics. Well, I just went right into specifics right now. What about the NOI? Boom, got that. NOI, the CMHC, the terms, okay, 5-year. If you want to know about CMHC, the terms was a 5-year CMHC loan that's going to be due, earlier in 2023. If there are 3.2 with only 11 units turned over, what was the potential of the other 2? Yeah, so basically, because we can't turn the other 11 because these people are kind of there's landlord-tenant rules. We could get very aggressive in this situation, but the property is not in a position where we could do that. So the question basically, if we did so good with the 11 units, why don't you basically? I'm assuming that's the question. Why don't we do it with the other 11? We may. We're now working on a natural turnover, but some of those people, we've made some offers to see if we can relocate some of those people, and it just wasn't there. So unfortunately, for now, those rents will have to stay where they are until maybe in a few years or whatever, or natural turnover, we'll be able to turn over those next 11 units. Let's go to the next question. Yasin, after I found out that money is only a tool to exchange for values, I stopped saving. Okay, doesn't make any sense. He's talking about nothing that even talks about real estate. Or what is he saying? By saving your money, you only lose its value. Okay, good. Invest in real estate. Great. Finley, great video. Okay, thank you. Those are my brothers in Finley Mortgage. Vishu C, where is the location of this property? Well, rule number 1 of limited liability is never disclose the address of the property, never disclose your assets. Okay, but thank you, we appreciate the question. Mythical Red Fox, dude, you should just get you should just get a real job like the rest of us. Okay. What would you consider a real job? I don't know. I think I have a pretty real job. It feels real to me. Every day I wake up and I do what I love to do. That seems pretty real to me. Maybe you're not happy where you're working at right now. That's not a problem either. Everyone has the right to work wherever they like. This is the difference, okay? Job, is a place where you go to, and it's called Just Over Broke. I suggest that everyone pursues a career. So I've pursued a real estate career. I don't care about making money and all these things. All that stuff is nice, but really, I love what I do. And that's the difference between a job and a career. When you love what you do, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a garbage man, or you're going up the corporate ladder, if you love what you do, that's a career. And when you wake up in the morning and you're excited about what you do, I think you no longer have a job, right? And so I understand where he's coming from, but I'd suggest that you do some self-reflection and pursue a career versus a job. My opinion. Let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got next. WealthGenius, of course, what's going on? He's only as good as the next interest rate hike. Well, if you see that the property can support 4 different loans at a really high interest, okay, so I'm going to go back to the interest that I was paying here. So the interest rates that I was paying, so on the first mortgage, I'm paying 3.660, right? So pretty much 3.7%. The vendor take back is 5%. The second mortgage on the other property, the third loan was 7%, and the $180,000 second on another property was 9%. So let's say average, it's about 7%. I think that this property not only can support 7 or 8 or 9 or 10%, but I'll be in good shape at any interest rate that is reasonable at the end of the day. And so, that comment, it just, most people would be afraid of the interest rate hikes. And by the way, go back to my channel. I talk about interest rate hikes and what that does to real estate. Some people look at this as a consumer item, right? So, when people go buy a house for themselves, they look at what they can afford. And what they can afford will justify whether or not they buy that house. This is what happens to the housing market, right? But when we look at real estate, we're really looking at the numbers and the performance of the real estate. And so we're not going to take on loans that, as investors, as professional real estate investors, the income of the property has to cover the debt. And so the comment there of whether I think I saw the comment was, you're only as good as your next interest rate hike. Just that person is mostly focused on the retail side of things, the housing market. And yeah, you know what? You're not going to be able to purchase any more properties if you're just buying single family homes. The most expensive piece of real estate that you will ever buy will be the single. The second most expensive will be the duplex or the triplex. That's why my investment strategy is not to invest into the ones and twosies. I go after the multifamily, right? Multiple different households paying me rent on one property, making that property more profitable. It's basic economics, the economy of scale, right? You have more people paying down more of that debt. And so when we talk about investing in real estate, we follow clear fundamentals, right? And we are always very conservative with our numbers. And as you saw, when I purchased that property, it's carrying basically about, on average, about 7% interest rates, on the low end, 3%, and on the high end, 9%. So, right now we're in 5 and change. If it goes to 6 or 7, that's, the property will be fine. But I really appreciate the concern. Let's go to the next question. Next question was from the Hungary experiment, Hungarian experiment. First to comment. And I think that's all. You know what? I appreciate all the comments. I really, really appreciate all the comments. And there is no dumb questions, by the way. Even the last person that said he's only as good as the next real estate interest rate hike. It's because that's topical, right? That's what's going on in the news. And I understand where they're coming from. I would never blame someone for thinking that way. Just to let you know, over the past 27 years in business and over the past 23 years of real estate investing, only for the past 2 years have the interest rates been extremely low. But for the rest of my career, I've always seen 7, 8, 9% investing. And in fact, when I started investing way back in 2001, I remember getting a mortgage at 8%, and they're like, it will never be this low, And so, interest rates go up and down, but I really do appreciate your questions. You guys are amazing. Keep all the questions coming. Keep all the comments. If I can answer any of your questions, in the comments, I will. If not, we'll just jump on another live like this. I mean, tell me what you think. Comment down below. Make sure to subscribe to the Canadian Real Estate channel. Make sure to go to my channel, Alfonso Cuadra. I have about 950 videos there that you guys can critique, that you guys can, kill me in the comment section or whatever you want to do. And you can also go to WealthGenius, one word, WealthGenius, and we can go to, you can go crazy on the comment sections there. In fact, I do have a video up there, brand new, on the interest rate hikes. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for joining us on this live here today. And Alfonso loves you. And we're going to see you guys all at the top. All right. Have a good evening.
Purpose powerful enough will make you unstoppable.